Good morning, everyone. This is David Bovin, your head of training here at Kale Realty. And today I am going to go over the first meeting you have with tenants. Now, my first suggestion would be that you get this done via email or via phone as far as your initial questions go. The reason being that, especially when it comes to leasing, you're going to come across a lot of people that are just not qualified. And if you're showing a property, let's say you have a listing and the owner has set specific stipulations, okay, then you know whether or not the shoe fits. Now, if you are setting up a search for someone, you have the right to tell someone that you're not interested in working with them. So you would just say, you know what, I don't think I'm a fit for you, but I could potentially refer you out to someone else, okay, if they don't fit the mold. And by that, I mean just we'll go over the different questions that we'll go through here shortly. But you really want to make sure that you pre-qualify these people and you want to verify the information. So generally, if someone is looking to lease out a property, they are going to have their pay stubs on file, right? You know, you're going to need those, showing how long you've been where you're at and how much income you earn. And that goes for any adult in the household. There are certain things you're not allowed to ask. You're not allowed to ask if someone is Section 8, okay? Because technically everyone has to accept Section 8. Number two, you're not allowed to ask specifically about the ages of the children. You can say how many children, but to specifically ask the ages or sex is inappropriate according to fair housing laws. So really, when you're talking to people, the main thing that you need to understand is that as you have these conversations, you need to garner as much information as possible, but you also have to abide by the rules. So if you are going to be asking these kinds of questions, just be sure that you have everything in line. You know exactly what you can ask and what you cannot ask. So the first meeting, if not via email or phone, do it in public. The reason being that there's no chance at a listing, right? Because you are going to someone's house that's already renting. And generally, tenants tend to be less serious. They may not have the credit or income available to actually move to where they want to look. And that's why you have to make sure you pre-qualify. And you just don't know who these people are, right? So first meeting with tenants, do it in public. Another great tool for us is Forewarn. It's provided through the board. And what Forewarn does is it's basically a background check that will pull up information for you showing, hey, this person has had these issues, or they have this felony, or they've, you know, been arrested this many times, so that you know who you're dealing with. You're not to share this information with the owner or the listing agent. You're not to bring it up to the tenant, okay? This is strictly just for your safety. That's what Forewarn is for. So make sure that you utilize that if you are going to meet with someone, just for safety's reasons. Now, getting back to those pre-qualifying questions, preferably again over the phone or via email, not to waste time. Number one, when are they looking to move? If they're looking to move in 3 months, they don't need to be looking for a place right now, because generally things move on a 30-day basis. So if someone needs to move it right, today is December 7th. If someone comes to me and says, I need to move at the end of February, we're going to start looking at the beginning of January, not right now, because what's there may not be available. How many bedrooms do you need? Okay, this will give you an idea of how many people will be living in the home without actually having to ask. You have your bathrooms, how many baths are needed. And with this, you want to differentiate between full bathrooms and half bathrooms, because some families, if they've got multiple kids, they want to have at least 2 full bathrooms. Some people are just a couple and they want 1.5 bathrooms, so someone can use the bathroom while the other person's in it, but they don't necessarily both have to shower at the same time. Are they looking for an apartment, a townhome, a single family home, or a condo? And all of these things are available to you via the MLS for search. So you can find all of them. Now, the most common are going to be apartments and condos. Next will be townhomes. And last will be single family. That's because investors that don't necessarily have a whole lot of money are going to invest in an apartment or a townhome or a condo more likely than investing in a single family to rent out. Now, what area are they looking in? This is really important because you don't want them dragging you all over the place. You want to hold them to an area. Why do you need to be in that area? Is it for work? Is it for school? Is it to be closer to family? What are the reasons that you need to be there? The price point, again, another very important piece of the puzzle. So at this point, you need to find out, what are you paying right now? What can you afford to pay? Okay. And by afford to pay, generally what people look for is 3 times the rent in income. So if they want to move into a $2,000 a month property, they need to be earning at least $6,000. How long have they been at the current job they're at? And what is the current income of the household? If there's multiple incomes, you want proof of all the incomes. So you want some kind of paper trail. Length of time at the current residence. How long have they been living where they live? Now, there's a couple of different things that'll come up here. Number one, if this is your listing, you can send your client to our application where they will fill out the application and you will get it provided back. So all of this information, you'll get it all. Another side of the situation could be that you find something via the MLS for this client. Now, if you find something via the MLS and these people are interested and they tell you that they qualify and you've gotten some information, okay, great. Talk to the other agent, get their application or find out what their process is. A lot of people do online applications just like we do. It's going to be anywhere from 50 to $100 a person. I've seen it all over the place, but the tenant's going to have to pay for that. So it kind of holds them accountable as well. It's like, hey, there's 3 adults that are going to be moving in here. That's $300. If you're serious, let's get this application going. So that's how the applications work. Now, after you have pre-qualified your tenant, gotten all the information that you need and you feel confident, you're going to explain the process. Have them sign the dot loop documents. So you have a tenant agreement. It's the same basically as the buyer's agreement. And you're going to tell them basically how things work. You're going to set up a search on the MLS. They're going to receive emails as well as notifications on their HomeSnap app, letting them know that their property is available. And HomeSnap's super easy. If you don't have it, download it right now. HomeSnap. This is our MLS's app. And what it does is it allows you to run searches on the MLS from your phone and to send the consumer, your client, a direct link to the MLS from your app. So if they download the app from the link that you send them, if you send it to a client, they're only going to see your information as far as contact go. It's not going to have any information about the other agents involved. Bring your laptop if possible, or make sure they have a computer and have them sign these documents right away. If you have to get them signed via ink, that's fine too. Just make sure that you upload them back into .loop as PDFs. And the next step is going to be actually setting up the search. So you'll go ahead, and I like to do this right in front of the client so that we can kind of go through different options that they're potentially looking for. You're going to explain how many showings you're willing to do in a day. For me, I refuse to do more than 7. So if you have a limit, let them know, hey, my limit per day is this. Just so you know, we're not going to look at more than this, because I don't feel like you're going to remember these properties if we look at more than that. Explain how HomeSnap and the MLS works as far as them receiving notifications. They'll be able to check interested or not interested on properties, and that's how you'll know what you need to set up. Lastly, you need to make sure that you have all of your clients' contact info so that you can get in touch with them. You need to have all the documents you brought, or make sure that the digital signatures went through. Right there, schedule a time for the first showings. So say, okay, I set up the search, you're going to get information. Are you available this weekend? Let's go out from 1 to 3. Okay, and mark interested in what you're interested in. And lastly, ask if they have any final questions before you leave. Okay, and that way you have everything in line and you're good to go. So I'm going to stop my share there. And I know we have a few people on Zoom. We have some people on Facebook. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and add it to the chat, and I will unmute you and answer. If not, I will see you tomorrow for training. If you have any questions until then, my email is david@kalerealty.com. Have a great rest of the day. Thanks.